Hey, right, shit you right here. Okay, so today doing a video a little bit different. Okay, I'm gonna be addressing a couple of comments. Okay, now this is in regards to a video I did 1 week ago today, titled "Are Guns Dangerous?" Okay, and we're talking about a specific point that I made in that video. Okay, and I'm making this video for two reasons. One, I do want to address these comments, but also I want to elaborate more on the point I made. Okay, so the point we're talking about is I said in that video, in regards to firearms, I said nothing is a weapon until it is used as a weapon, and anything could be used as a weapon. Okay, well, okay, so basically, the issue at hand is that is an opinion. Okay, that is not facts. Okay, so to be fair, I did say in the video that I did say that two things. Many people would disagree with that point, even gun people. I already knew that, and I did say that it was in fact my opinion, and it is that is my opinion. I do believe that personally. But to be fair, and with all that being said, that point probably didn't belong in that particular video. Okay, so my bad on that. I got these comments which made me think more because usually I make these videos, I put these videos out, I'm on with my life, right? But I got these comments which made me think a little more about it after the fact, and I've had several days to consider this. Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that point probably didn't belong in that particular video because, like, look, that whole video, facts, okay, good points. Like I said, rooted in facts. I think I just went and throw a massive, super, strong take opinion in there. I shouldn't have done that. The video would have been better without that, I think. In any case, that's the situation. So that's the point we're talking about, video we're talking about, all that. Wanted to get that out of the way. Okay, so I got the comments, gonna put them up on screen. You can pause and read these if you want. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go through these comments. I'm gonna address things as I go. I will say I don't know if these individuals I don't know if they're trying to be assholes or whatnot. I don't really know their intent, but I don't take it as that. I appreciate their opinions, right? We all got opinions. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I think this is good conversation that these people have brought up, right? And I think this is a really good video to do. Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to do this video, but these comments, it really goes to demonstrate the just the difference in mindset that different people have, right? Like these people compared to me, like it's a way different mindset, right? So I think this is a good video for me to do for multiple different reasons. But yeah, I just wanted to address that. I don't take offense to these comments. I appreciate these comments. I think it opens the door for some good conversation, which I think is great. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, so gonna go rip through these comments real quick, address certain parts as I go. Get my opinion in there on certain points. Um, okay, so first he says, not trying to antagonize you. Okay, well no, I don't feel antagonized. I said that in my reply. I appreciate these comments, these opinions. I think this opens the door for good conversation, like I said. Anyway, he says, but even as a gun guy, I would say a firearm is a weapon without other context. I can't label it as anything else without metaphor. Okay. So that's his opinion. At least this looks like a dude. Anyway, that's his opinion. Okay. For me personally, and my mindset, the way I look at things, I don't know what metaphor has to do with anything. To me, like he said it right. For me, firearm is what a firearm is what it is, right? I refer to firearms as firearms. Simply, okay. This is a good point that I want to throw in here though. And this is important to keep in mind throughout this video. I find that oftentimes in the community, the word firearm and the word weapon are very often used interchangeably. Many people refer to their firearms as firearms. Many people refer to their firearms as weapons. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? Like it seems like this guy is suggesting that he would normally refer to firearms as weapons, which is fine. Many people do. While I would refer to firearms as just firearms. So I think that point is nothing more than really just a difference of opinion as far as what would you label it, right? If not weapon, well for me firearm, but many people, yeah, weapon. That's fair. Okay. So then he says, if I'm to understand you, what you're saying is you mean to say a weapon is a paperweight, basically, until it is used as a weapon. Well, no, but the point I was driving home in the video was that a firearm on its own, like with no person holding it, is not going to do dangerous things such as, use itself as a weapon against you or someone else, right? That was the point at hand because I was addressing misconceptions that, a lot of people do think firearms on their own are going to kill them or whatnot, right? I was addressing that isn't the case, okay? So, in my opinion, like I wouldn't call it a paperweight, but in my opinion, it's just a firearm sitting there until someone picks it up. It's not going to do anything. It's just like any other inanimate object, right? Like I got a flashlight right there. That's just an inanimate object sitting there. A firearm is no different to me. When it's not in the hands of an individual, right? So it's kind of my take on that. Okay, then he says that wouldn't hold up, in any argument, he can make sense of. Okay. They're engineered to inflict, damage, multiply force, deter or defend. Okay, yeah, that's true. Firearms are designed for an individual to use them for those purposes. But the context I was talking about in the video is a firearm on its own, not in the hands of an individual. Yes, in the hands of an individual, all that, absolutely. Of course, these are just my opinions. Obviously, as I already said, many people have different mindsets, and that's okay. That's great, right? Anyway, please help me understand further what context you are using, so I may be further educated. Okay, so I kind of already touched on that, right? The context was a firearm on its own by itself, not in the hands of an individual, was the context. And then he says, I agree with your other points, though. Okay, well, thanks for that. Yeah, so, that is, those are my opinions on the points and opinions that he was bringing forward. I don't know if what that means to anybody, but I think what this really goes to show is the difference of outlook that different people have, right? And that's perfectly fine. I think that's a good thing. it's kind of interesting, right? It's interesting how different people, agree on the big picture, right? But those minor details about how they view things, vary. It's an interesting video, I think. But in any case, I don't know if that answered the questions or not. I don't know if this guy's gonna see this video or not. Hopefully, I don't know if that answers the questions or not. Like I said, it comes down to opinion. That's my opinion on the topics at hand. For what it's worth. So I'm gonna move on to the next comment. Got one more. Okay, so getting on to this one. This one's a little bit longer. Guy gets right into it. Okay. The part of being an adult is learning to master dangerous things, that be a plane, motorcycle, boat, etc. Okay, I would argue that guns are definitely weapons and weapons of war. Okay. I have a little bit of a different mindset around, mastering dangerous things, right? And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying he's wrong. These are both opinions, right? They're our opinions, right? So these are definitely right to us individually. But for me, like, it's not really. I don't find items to be dangerous personally. A person has to use an item dangerously for it to be dangerous. An item on its face would never do a dangerous thing without the manipulation of an individual. There could be some exceptions to that, but largely, like, especially the examples he gives. So that's my opinion on that. Again, it comes down to the difference in mindset around these things. Okay, as far as him talking about weapons of war, I'm gonna hold off on that because he's gonna circle back to that in this comment. So I'm gonna hold off on that. Okay, so he goes on to say, as he said, they're weapons of war. That's a good thing. Okay, when I see Smith and Wesson calling their AR a Sport 2, that is laughable. Okay, yeah, I also don't really like Smith and Wesson's choice of firearm names usually. Anyway, that's laughable. People are not buying the Smith and Wesson M&P Sport for the sport. They're buying them to use as weapons to defend themselves and their families. Okay. Yeah, that's fair, right? That's fair, right? That's it's you know, I don't usually say I don't like the term weapon is why I usually lean toward using the word firearm. But, I wouldn't word it exactly like that myself. Obviously, I'm not saying this guy shouldn't word it however he wants, but it's myself I wouldn't do it, but like largely it's the same mindset. Like, yeah, obviously I want firearms for protection as well. I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with that. So yeah, that is what it is. That's I agree. As a free people, we need the right to have weapons of war to maintain, a free society. Okay, yeah, I agree with all that fully. Um, again, we'll get to the weapons of war part here in a minute, but largely I do agree with that point. Now I understand that 22s are not weapons of war. Okay, yeah, I think we all agree on that. But when you look at even the Mosin or the Mauser or the SKS, etc., it is easy to tell that the guns and the bayonets are designed to kill people. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Long story short, guns are weapons, and that's a good thing. Good video, man. important. Yeah, okay, important to get young people into this stuff so our rights don't die with the boomers. Okay, so yeah, you know, I I agree with most of that, right? As far as all that goes. Now I'm going to talk about this particular section where he says, um, talking about weapons of war being, Mosins, Mausers, SKS, etc., their bayonets. Yeah, that is all true. But those are weapons of war, okay? Those are surplus firearms that have been used in conflicts in the past. Um, no doubt those are weapons of war. Okay, so as far as like to be fair to this guy, he doesn't say this directly. I think he's getting at the point of like obviously he says so, we the people having weapons of war is a good thing. We need it, all that. I agree with that. However, like I assume he's getting at the like stuff like the AR-15 being a weapon of war. And I've heard tons of gun people say, "Oh no, my AR-15 is a weapon of war." It isn't though. Okay, um, the military are using full auto M4s. Your AR-15 is not fully automatic. Okay, I'm recording this after the fact. I just wanted to throw this in here. I'm talking largely, your AR-15 might be full auto. I don't know, but most people do not have fully automatics, is my point. Therefore, it's not the same firearm used by the military or in conflict, really. It's not largely anyway. Not really a weapon of war, okay? Now, with that being said, I do think that, we the people should have weapons of war. I think we should have the same exact weaponry as the military the whole way because that's constitutional, right? At the time the Second Amendment was adopted, civilians did have the same weapons as the military. So I do think we should be able to have that. But, largely as far as modern firearms go, we don't have the same firearms as the military. Okay. So again, to be fair to this guy, he didn't say, the AR-15 directly. I assume he was probably getting at that or a gun that falls into the same category. So I don't fully agree with that. I agree with that point mostly, okay? Then as he said at the end of that comment, we gotta it's important to get young people into this stuff so our rights don't die with the boomers. I appreciate that and I agree that's the point of that video series that I had started, okay? So same with that comment. I hope that addressed the questions and the points that this guy made, the opinions and points. I hope that addressed that. I hope that guy sees this. Who knows? In any case, that's my opinion on that. So I just wanted to make this video, to address these comments, address that opinion that I made in that video. I think this was a good video to make. It really demonstrates like how people kind of have the same point or the same opinion but different at the same time, right? Like I largely agree with what both of these people said. It's just slight things, right? Like I wouldn't word it the same. I wouldn't use the same wording in a lot of cases. I agree. I disagree slightly, but the big picture I largely agree with, right? It's an interesting thing to talk about. Okay, that's why I wanted to do a video addressing these comments, and also I hope along the way I hope I addressed the opinion that I had in the last video as well. I was not trying if either of these people see this video, if I came across as a dick or an asshole or whatever, I wasn't trying to. That's just kind of how I am. No, I genuinely appreciated these comments. You guys made good points, and yeah, I was happy to make this video. So I'm gonna get out of here. It's a pretty long video. I was hoping this wouldn't be so long, but you know, I wanted to go through the comments thoroughly, so I'm gonna get out of here. Hope this answered the questions. Goodbye.